All right, so this is going to be a reading for Sagittarius. And for the Sagittarius that I'm speaking to today, I'm seeing that there may be something going on related to your stability, and specifically someone around you. This could be someone in your home space or someone that you've been working with. And it could have felt like it was really hard to see eye to eye with this person, or if you had a conflict with this person, like it was hard to balance things out and hard to get back onto the same page. And there could also be something here about communication or level of participation in the relationship or a conversation that was had. Something was expressed here that comes through as kind of a blockage. And it's looking like with time, this situation is slowly returning to balance, but there's something here that kind of wants to be explored, an energy that needs to be broken down and investigated. So I'm going to take a look at that in a second, but before I do, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for receiving this reading. If you would like a personal reading, I do offer them. You can email me. My email is available down below in the description box. And if you would like to lend your energy to the channel in such a way that allows me to manifest messages that resonate more for you, you can like and subscribe. Now, I'm seeing that there was, like I said, some type of breakage with this other person, and your oracle cards today are participation, slowing down, and intensity. So I'm almost seeing that within this connection, there was too much fire. There was too much exchange, too much intensity, and it's almost like you kind of needed to back away from this in order for it to settle down. And so that's this place that you could be in currently, this place of slowing down just within this connection, and allowing the energies to just sit for a second so that they can just kind of exist and breathe without being pushed into the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Now I'm seeing that this may have brought up some feelings about the relationship or the stability of the relationship, the longevity, that kind of thing. Let's take a look here. I'm also seeing that you could have felt like you're not on the same page with this person for a long time, and then some conversation or some expression that happened between the two of you really highlighted that blockage or highlighted something that maybe has been under the surface for a while. I'm definitely seeing that in the recent past you took a break from this in order to heal. And so whatever this is could have brought up something really painful, or like I said, there could have just been too many energies kind of whirling around, and you're definitely showing me, taking a rest, taking a break from this in order to, restore yourself or just heal in general. I'm seeing that you had a lot of love for this connection or this person, but you also recognize that there was something toxic going on. That could be different for all of you. Let's take a look there. It could be like some type of codependency. It could be an unhealthy energy that was coming from the other person here, or something that you were creating, the two of you. Whatever it was, I see that it was really exhausting, and there may have been this feeling of needing to take care of yourself within this connection, or put yourself first. Maybe it felt like you were competing with the other person, or things were always about them, and so you needed to really prioritize yourself and ground yourself in what's most important, which is ultimately how you feel within the connection. And there also could have been this feeling of like not being taken cared for as much as you wanted to, or not receiving as much as you were giving. And I see a recognition of that on your part, and also some sadness over it, of like, oh, like I love that person so much, like I wish it didn't have to be like this. And so there's a part of you that knows that something here needs to come to an end. Maybe the connection, the friendship, the relationship itself doesn't need to end, but whatever was unhealthy here needs to be put to bed, definitively. There needs to be some type of closing of that cycle, some type of death process here. And there's also a recognition that through that you've been hanging on to something here. Like maybe you've been allowing for certain behaviors, or allowing this unhealthy dynamic to continue because you weren't quite ready to let it end. And so I do see you acknowledging here the ways that you've kind of gone back and forth with this energy in such a way that's allowed it to continue going however it's gone. And I see you kind of recognizing once and for all, okay, the parts of this connection that I've been holding on to do need to be put to an end, or whatever is unhealthy here needs to be put to a close. And so with that knowledge, you kind of go forward and you do create a change here, and there's quite a change within this connection, and possibly a change that reverberates within the rest of your life, because the part of you that was contributing to this unhealthy energy, it may have been affecting other parts of you, other parts of your life. And so I do see actually a lot of clarity and a lot of happiness that comes in for you, a lot of relief actually, of like, oh, thank God I'm not in the middle of that unhealthy energy as much as I was before. And you do look like it's sort of a personal happiness. It's like you have everything you need to be content by yourself, but that's okay, because you're like, yeah, that's what I needed to do here. I needed to put myself first. I needed to cut off some type of energy that wasn't serving me. And it really kind of opens up your energy here and gives you a lot of clarity. I also see some relief over possibly expressing how you feel, and like being honest or speaking your truth or something like that. With the Ace of Swords here, many of you may feel like you're finally being honest, not just with yourselves, but with the people around you about how you really feel or what it is you really need. And as you move forward from this, it opens up the space for a lot of abundance and a lot of love and a lot of opportunities, because suddenly your energy is so much clearer and more open than it was before, when you were holding on to some type of unhealthy dynamic that actually comes through as weighing you down. Yeah, you definitely come through being very independent here, and really being grounded in your heart space in a really beautiful way. Like, you're very grounded, both in your physical environment, in what you're capable of, in what you have available to you. Many of you may be very hard workers or very dedicated to your career, but then at the same time, you also have this very open heart space, this very loving heart space, and you are I'm seeing like kind of attached to your principles or what you believe in or your politics or something like that. It's a very strong but loving energy at the same time. I'm picturing like a mature woman who knows herself, knows what she's about, knows what she's ready to give and receive. And from this place of knowing herself, she's able to kind of springboard off into the rest of her life. And you don't have to be a woman, but whoever is resonating with this right now, I definitely see you occupying that more feminine energy, the nurturing space, the heart space, being open, being receptive, and also being powerful in who you are and what your heart space has to give to you and the world. So very positive here. And it's funny because it's like you step into this place of open-heartedness by actually cutting something off that comes through as pulling away from this energy. And so by removing something here, it actually allows you to open up. You're kind of showing me like, yeah, I'm glad that that ended, or not ended, but I'm glad that whatever needed to come to a close here is kind of being dealt with. And so many of you may still be holding on to parts of this, or you may still be working through parts of this. But you're showing me a certain contentedness over your decision to deal with this however you dealt with this connection. And it does come through as meaningful. It comes through as something that's important to you. This may have been someone who really contributed to your quality of life in some way, whether that's in your home or your career or your environment, or just a close friend or some type of meaningful soul connection. And you're saying, yeah, that was really important to me, and it still is. And I'm holding on to the things about it that are positive, but I'm also recognizing, you know, its purpose in my life, its function, and that in some ways it's ready to be cycled out. And so there's a certain contentedness that I see within you of like, yeah, like I did what I needed to do, it served its purpose, and now I'm moving forward. There may be, though, as you move forward, this feeling of wanting to balance with this or needing things to be correct in some way. And there could be this sense within you of, did I handle this correctly kind of after the fact? So as these energies simmer down, I see you kind of looking back at it and being like, is it all balanced? Do I need to do anything to balance it out? Let's take a look here. There's some anxieties that might be coming up for you. Yeah, this question of, I did my best, but did I do it right? I listened to my intuition, but it wasn't easy. And it's interesting because this comes in the future after you're showing me I'm moving forward, I have things to move forward towards, I'm centered, I'm grounded. And then in some way, this kind of boomerangs back around and you start to maybe question yourself, question your intuition, and question your decision-making process. And that's really something that comes from a space of the mind of being a little worried. And you're also showing me that there is a part of you that can live in the past a little bit of like maybe romanticizing this connection, or when you are feeling a little bit unstable, something that you return to for stability, for grounding, is this connection. And so it could make you feel a little unstable to have to leave this behind. Now, what this connection actually is for many of you is going to be really different. Like for some of you, this could be a spouse. For others of you, this could be a child. For others of you still, this could be a boss. It could be really anyone in your life, but for some reason within how you connect to this relationship, it's something that at some point felt grounding to you, or you look towards it for stability, for support. And within your process of moving on from this, it reconnected you to who you are by yourself. And so as you move more into those energies of being by yourself, there's going to be times where you might feel lonely, or you might miss this energy, or you might be feeling unstable, or like you want some support. And in those moments where you're kind of reaching for control or support, you may miss this person, or you may look back at them and think like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And that's when that doubt is going to start creeping in, which really comes from not actually even needing this person, but from when you're feeling a little bit unstable or a little insecure, or you're reaching for something, reaching for some control, you could return to this connection as sort of like a crutch in some ways. And so your journey moving forward is going to be about seeking balance within yourself. And this energy might even come back around to try to offer you something, to try to repair, to try to add to this relationship again. And I see that coming back towards you, and you kind of having this decision to make of, is this connection going to be good for me? Is it going to be stable, or is it going to present some of the issues that it had before? Is it going to be toxic again? And this person or this relationship, when it comes back towards you, it may present itself as, I've changed, or I can be a lot more stable. I can give you the best parts of myself here. And I see there being something in your intuition, that part of you that is really tired on a soul level, that's going to be like, wait a second, I don't know if I can trust this. I don't know if this feels right. And if it doesn't feel right, then it's important that you follow that voice in your head, or that you pay attention to that feeling. And no one else is really going to be able to tell you what to do in this situation if this person comes back around offering you something. And I am seeing that they may offer you an apology, they may offer something material, they may offer you just some type of relationship, and this person, it comes through as them coming back towards you after you set the boundary, right? And so if you have to set a boundary in order for someone to come correct, that's also a sign of like, why couldn't you come correct before I cut you off? So this is very specific. It may not relate to everyone who's listening to this, so just take what resonates and leave the rest. But really try to connect with your intuition, because you're kind of showing me when you're by yourself, you're very grounded, you're very independent, you're very strong. And there's a part of you that might hang on to this in some ways that would lead you to question yourself if this person comes back into your life, offering something. And so just make sure that no matter what you choose or how you move forward, that you are putting yourself first, which has been a really strong theme in your readings lately, Sagittarius. Let's get 3 cards of advice from the universe, and then we'll close this out. I'm seeing here that you know what you have to do. You've seen the truth. You've seen the unhealthy parts of this. You've seen whatever this toxic dynamic is. You've seen it. You know it, and you can't go back from here. So however you choose to move forward, just remember what it is that you experienced. Remember what you know about this relationship. And this may not all be on the other person either. Like, it may just be a dynamic that the two of you have created together that is kind of toxic, and neither one of you is necessarily to blame, but when you come together, you're like, oh, we're doing something here that isn't really great. And Spirit's just saying, whatever it is that you know, whatever it is that you've seen in this dynamic, just remember that, and try to work on balancing that out. And if it takes time and it takes you being by yourself and separating from this energy, that's okay. And if this comes back around and it feels better, then you can go from there. But just remember what you've experienced. So that's what I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope that this helps. I hope that this resonates, and I'll see you next time.